donated my kidney to my cousin about 7 months ago. Liam is a pretty cool dude. He was 7 years old when we were matched, and I've never known him as someone who was completely well. He's always been in and out of the hospital, but that never stopped him from smiling when you see him, from trying to play and run with his brothers. Even if he's got tubes hooked up to him, he still wants to go move. He's just been so amazing through this whole process. As an adult, it's hard for me to complain about anything when I see him not complaining and living his best life. And I know if he can do it, then I can do it. And that's why when I look at him and look into his eyes, he has amazing big blue eyes, that how can I not be there for him at any moment he asks. I never thought much of kidney disease until Liam was born. And then I had to Google and learn what the kidneys really do and how they impact your full system. So I had no idea anything about kidney disease before meeting Liam. Liam's kidneys have been touch and go since day one. So I always thought of him as in a possible failure anytime. Liam's also a twin. So when he's growing up, you're looking at his brother who's getting taller, who's getting bigger, and who's able to eat more and run around and play. So you have a direct comparison of what a child that age should be doing. That's what, of course, is so difficult, because you see someone struggling in and out of the hospital, touch and go. Will this cold put them in the hospital again? Will this cold become pneumonia? When we can do the surgery, that week of surgery, actually, it was a choice between if the surgery has to go, or he's going into dialysis. So you can see his life is going to be altered forever. When I learned about kidney disease and the treatment options, I was really surprised that was all that was the option, was dialysis. And I just saw this child who, so young and going through so much pain and so much sickness, and to think that now he's going to go on dialysis, it's too much. I was just heartbroken over the whole situation. So it was never really much of a decision whether or not to donate a kidney. When I was asked to be tested, I had just moved back from California after living there for a few years. I was back in New York. It was within a month of me moving back. I got an email from Liam's mom saying we're at the point where we need to ask for people to be tested, just because we're getting to the point where he will need a kidney soon. And I was tested. And while my test results are being processed, I sent out an email blast to everybody I know, telling them Liam's story, sending a picture of him, asking them to be tested. And then I get a phone call saying I'm the match. And I remember getting the phone call and looking at my mom and saying, well, I guess I'm doing this. And she said, wow, yeah. And it was just a go from day one. When I first told my family that I was going to donate, they were excited for me. It was to another family member, so they were excited for that person, that they were going to be better soon. They then had questions, like everyone would have a question. More of a concern for me physically, what does this mean for you? What does this mean in the future for you? How long is the recovery time? What will that do to you in 20 years? What does that mean? Does it mean medications? Does it mean other health risks? And I helped them out. I gave them all the information that I knew, all the information from the transplant center, what I've been told by them. So that really put them at ease, and I think made the whole situation a lot smoother. There were people, of course, friends, family, that did not understand, that their first reaction is fear. Do you understand what you're doing? Do you understand what it is to give a kidney, the things that could go wrong with that. Are you ever going to have a family then? Because you're doing this, you can never have kids. There were a lot of questions that I was shocked by at first. And then I realized that it's not really, it's a concern for me and my health. And when people are faced with something that is outside of their realm and outside of their comfort zone, that someone they know is going to change by choice. And even if it doesn't directly impact them, it still impacts them, and it's fear-based. So I answered as many questions as I could. I put a lot of minds at ease. But then I when I went home at night, I knew that I was comfortable with the situation. I was confident in my ability to recover and my ability to help others deal with a change in myself. When I was rolled into the operating room, I was on meds, so I was pretty fine. But there was not much fear, oddly enough. It was more anxiety to like, let's get this started, and excitement, because I got to see Liam right before I went in. And so it was just this like, okay, let's go, let's do this. But it felt good. It felt really good. The best moment after surgery was finding out that the kidney was doing great, that on the operating room table, that it started functioning right away, and that all the doctors were so excited about it, and Liam's parents were so happy that I knew that it was great. So that made me relieved and made anything that physically I was feeling uncomfortable about better. My recovery took about 6 weeks. I had laparoscopic surgery. They went through my belly button, and then I have about 3 incisions on my side, about 1-inch incisions, and then I have a 6 or 7-inch lower abdominal, basically like a C-section, and that's where they pull a kidney out of, and it's right in the front. It was very new to me. I never had any surgery before. I never had even a broken bone. So I'd never been in a hospital. I didn't know what to expect at all. I did not know about pain levels, what feels normal after surgery, what's a normal pain level even. I mean, they ask you 1 to 10, how's your pain level? It's just uncomfortable. It's not shooting pain. It's not bad. It's just uncomfortable so much those first few days. You swell, it just doesn't feel good. But it does get better. I am so grateful that I have family that I could go stay with. I live alone, so coming home to an apartment by myself was not an option. You have to have somebody help you in and out of bed. You have to have somebody help you in and out of a car that first day. It takes a lot of energy to do anything. So having somebody on top of your meds and having somebody on top of your fluids, it makes your life so much better. I'm so grateful to have those people in my life and to have, I have an aunt and uncle that took care of me. My recovery probably would have been faster if my body did what I wanted it to do and what everybody wanted it to do. But because I have such sensitive skin, I had a reaction, and my skin basically, it was an infection and a rash, and I had lesions, and it just was the worst. It was all skin related, nothing to do with the surgery at all. Surgery was amazing, and it went amazing. It healed well. It just was this bizarre side effect of just my own personal skin and how it deals with trauma. So it did take a few more weeks to feel comfortable and to get back on my feet. But again, I wouldn't change anything. What I learned about myself during this process is that stronger than I think. I think I'm just still learning. I feel like every day it's something new that I'm surprising myself with. And then I see it in others too. Once you go through something like this, the little things don't matter as much. What he said, what she said, whatever. there's so many bigger things out there. And that's really what I've taken out from this. After donating my kidney, my health has been good. My numbers are back to normal or in the normal range. I have stayed on top of my fluids. It's so important to drink at least 2 liters a day, at least that much. It's interesting in that at 7 months out, I'm learning to get back in touch with my physical self I've just started yoga because I realized recently that my body is doing its own thing. It has been for months since the surgery. Not that it's bad, not that it's good. It just is different. It's sensitive in certain areas to touch just because there were, rods going through you and you lost an organ. So it's the nerves growing back, and it's this whole process of months and months of getting to the point where you feel better and you're back to normal. It took a few months to be able to sleep back on that side of my body. And I'm a stomach sleeper, and to sleep on your stomach again, it took a while for me even to get the courage to do it, being nervous about that. So now that I'm months out and I feel more myself than before, that I feel like now I'm getting back in touch with this is what my body does. And it feels great, and it's been going great. I'm really just so thrilled that everything's been going so well. Something that I didn't expect to come out of this was the love that you received from so many people. I was so taken aback by the cards and the calls and the texts and just the amount of love people showed me, because it wasn't about me and it wasn't about me wanting attention. And then all of a sudden I was getting this warm love from people. It's just overwhelming, and you'll find that it's very overwhelming. Looking back, the best part about donating my kidney, besides helping someone and saving someone, was the relationships that you build out of that. So I became very close with my recipient's mother, my Aunt Stephanie. She became such a close friend of mine, and we talk each week, and we really check in with each other. And I consider her one of the closest people in my life now. And it's amazing. And I'm not sure how or if it would have developed to the point it is if we didn't have this bond. But I'm very thankful for that. The best advice I would give someone who's thinking about being a living donor is to join a support group. Online on Facebook, there are a few donor support groups, and you get so much information from people who have been there and done that. I was amazed at, I can ask a question and there's 30 comments with, everything from the best pillow to use to what you take when you have a cold, something that doctors can't always give you the exact name of brands. It's a community that I've really, really hold dear to my heart, and that I support, and I know that they are there for me and support me. The last thing that I would add is that being a living donor, it's not the easiest thing to do. It's not fun at times. It's a long process, but in the end, it's really worth it.